Rayquaza and Zacian are two Pokemon that might have a lot of potential in the format right now, with a bunch of Sun teams and a lot of Miraidon teams being able to do well recently. We're going to be trying out a team that features both and see how well they can perform. This is my offensive Zacian and Rayquaza team. Let's break it down. First up, we have the Life Orb Rayquaza with the Airlock ability that negates the effects of weather on the field with the Terra normal defensive type with Dragon Scent, Extreme Speed, Soar Sense, and Protect. The idea of Rayquaza, I think it's pretty cool. It doesn't have the best stat distribution for what it wants to do. However, Airlock is a great ability right now just because there are a lot of weather wars in the format with sun and rain, and being able to negate the effects of Kyogre damage output with really powerful water spout and origin pulses, as well as Koraidon just being able to shut it down, prevents the sun from really affecting the Koraidon and getting its attack boost alongside the boost to its fire type moves under the sun, alongside just shutting down photosynthesis from getting the boost on the Paradox Pokemon, unless they have a booster energy as well, is really solid. And I think it has a lot of potential, especially because its typing is actually pretty good into those Pokemon, even though its bulk isn't exactly the greatest for a restricted Pokemon. This Rayquaza is supposed to hit hard with the Life Orbs, Extreme Speeds, and Dragon Scent, especially after one Swords Dance. I did debate about a few sets on Rayquaza, like the Loaded Dice Scale Shot. However, I was running some Life Orb Extreme Speed calcs with Terra Normal in next to Xianpao, and oh boy, it does a lot of damage. And I mean, like, +2 Extreme Speed from Life Orb Terra Normal next to Xianpao can Oko Kali Ice. Like, it can Oko max HP Kali Ice. And it's a really good roll to KO. Like, it's an extremely good roll to KO. Like, it's very unlikely not to KO. That's how good it is. This spawn can go absolutely insane, and that's what I want to try out. So we have that Terra Normal, boost up the Extreme Speed, but also it's good into Shadow Rider because you are able to be immune to the Moongeist beams and the Astral Barrages. This Rayquaza is a bit weird though. It is a bulky Rayquaza, and the reason I decided to go with a bulky Rayquaza is because I'm mainly clicking Extreme Speed. I am reducing my bulk because of the Life Orb recoil, but like if I'm clicking Extreme Speed anyway, you're not really utilizing the speed on Rayquaza that well anyway, so I might as well just go for the bulk regardless. And I decided to invest quite a bit into special defense to be able to take on the hits pretty well. The attack, max attack of course, for the rolls I wanted. And yeah, just overall not really too much about it. There's not really anything crazy that the CV spread does. There are definitely better EV spreads that could be out there. I just want to invest mostly into special defense, have a number that is divided by 10 minus 1, just because of the fact that minimizes the amount of recoil we take from Life Orb. And yeah, there wasn't really too much speed I think there was I really needed to, so I just had a little bit to outspeed and speed creep like around that area, which could be like modest Pelipper, I suppose, maybe a few Riolabooms that go decently fast, etc. So that's the Rayquaza. I'm hoping that's able to do work with the big hits of the Life Orb Extreme Speed, because I think this Pokemon is actually pretty underrated in this format so far. Next Pokemon we have is the Choice Scarf Annihilate with the Defiant ability, Stellar Terra type with Shadow Claw, Close Combat, U-Turn, and Coaching. Definitely a bit of a different Annihilate, and I was stuck on this Annihilate for a bit. I was debating how can I fit Final Gambit and Coaching, because the idea of Annihilate on this team is the Defiant that is able to scare away Intimidate leads, because if they lead Intimidate, Annihilate is super threatening, and it's really important because Zacian and Rayquaza are both Pokemon that don't like dealing with Intimidate. So I was thinking just Annihilate could be a really good pairing. Adding that Ghost typing could be huge, especially just having a thing that can be able to revenge KO Calyx Shadow Rider, for instance. So I felt like this mon could be pretty strong, and we're going with the Choice Scarf, of course, to buff up its speed, and Coaching to get an attack and defense buff onto Rayquaza or the Zacian even to get around Intimidates if I need to, as well as just boost up the Zacian in general. I felt like was a really good pairing, so I really want to try out Coaching, and it could pair well with the bulky Rayquaza that I'm running, so wanted to use Coaching. And I felt like the other moves are important. U-Turn is kind of necessary because of being able to break sashes and scalp for, like, you know, things like what the Shadow Rider wants to do. Does it switch out? U-Turn to keep momentum, or Flutter Mane, for instance. I feel like it's pretty important there. Close combat, I need to be able to hit Incineroar and threaten that knockout. And Shadow Claw, of course, because it's better immediate damage into the Alex Shadow Riders and the Lunalas. EV spread wise, we're going with a Jolly Max speed. This allows me to outspeed some of the modest Chiyus out there that are Choice Scarf. And yeah, since we're not running Final Gambit, just go with attack because I actually want the Annihilate to do damage for the most part since I'm not running Final Gambit, which was the move I dropped. I think like there's so many ways you could experiment with the Annihilate. It can work out. And the Stellar Terror type is because I don't really need a defensive type on this Scarf Annihilate. So I'm just going with Stellar because boosting that close combat or that Shadow Claw could actually be big in certain cases. Next Pokemon, the Pokemon that is able to enable damage on this team with the Xianpao Focus Sash for the item Sword of Ruin as the ability to lower the defense of all Pokemon on the field. The Terra Ghost type to dodge, Fake Out, and extreme speeds with Ice Spinner, Crunch, Sucker Punch, and Protect. I think Xianpao, of course, to enable Rayquaza Extreme Speed. We all know the classic combination of Xianpao Dragonite. This is it on a whole different level because Swords Dance Extreme Speed is just absolutely broken, especially with that Life Orb. And even just Life Orb Extreme Speed with Sword of Ruin plus a double up from Xianpao is already absurd. So there are a lot of things that it can do. Of course, pairing it with the Zacian makes a lot of sense as well for the extra power that Zacian, since it is nerfed, it is able to get knockouts thanks to the Sword of Ruin help. And Ice Spinner able to get rid of the terrain, especially from a Rhydon, makes things a bit easier. There is the debate about like Ice Spinner versus Icicle Crash. I don't really need terrain on this team, so the fact that Ice Spinner I think is consistent to help out against Miraidon I think is nice. I don't really care about like Xianpao like risking it against Rocky Helmet and the Spiky Shields from Ogre Pollens because mainly this is supposed to be allow me to set up with the Ice Spinner to get rid of that terrain, especially from Psychic Terrain, Expanding Force stuff, as well as Miraidon. So I feel Ice Spinner was just more valuable for what I wanted, and Miraidon's really popular right now, so definitely can have a huge benefit. The Crunch, of course, is able to help out quite a bit against Lunala and the Ghost types out there, which of course is something I do want to help because you have fighting coverage on both Annihilate and Zacian. And Sucker Punch for that priority, especially against Calyx Shadow Rider. Pretty simple. Xianpao, we're going max speed because at the worst case, we speed tie with max speed Miraidon, or I'm able to outspeed them, get the Ice Spinner off consistently, and that is a pretty big deal, reducing that Miraidon damage output. Next Pokemon we have is the Zacian crowned with the Rusted Sword, Intrepid Sword for its ability, giving an attack boost whenever it comes out on the field for 1 time per battle. Terra Fairy as that typing with Behemoth Blade, Play Rough Sword, or Sacred Sword, not Sword Dance, and Protect. So we do have the Zacian that's able to do a lot of damage, and it's good because it is able to outspeed Miraidon. It's one of the few Pokemon in the format that's able to outspeed Miraidon, Koraidon, Xianpaos, Fluttermanes, even at their max speed, and then threaten huge with that attack, which Play Rough from a +1 Zacian can do a ton of damage. So does have a lot of potential there, and I felt like it was a pretty good pairing next to Rayquaza since Zacian doesn't like taking really strong hits from fire or water type moves under their weathers, as well as just I felt like it was a pretty good combo because with the ability to just be able to hit really hard with extreme speed plus a really strong hit from the Zacian that's boosted and do a lot. And we do have really good coverage with Behemoth Blade against the fairy types, the Play Rough of course for the dragons, and the Sacred Sword that's just good into Zamazenta, which Rayquaza doesn't exactly like dealing with Zamazenta because it's, even though Dragon Scent does do a lot, Body Presses actually still hurt Rayquaza quite a bit. So Sacred Sword to hit the Zamazenta and the Terapagos. And overall with this EV spread, I built this for like a global challenge back in the day. I used this to get like 18th place in a global challenge in Reg G. I don't really remember what it's supposed to do. It's just supposed to outspeed like a lot of the base 135s like the Miraidon, Koraidon, etc. Also outspeeds the Iron Bundle, and then has a jump point in speed, so it's like an extra 80 EVs to have 2 stat points, so why not? I had a good amount of attack, but I still wanted some bulk, so I had a mix of HP and attack. I think because we have the Sword of Ruin and we have extreme speeds as well as Annihilate that can coach Zacian for extra damage, I don't think it's necessary to be able to have max attack or a lot of attack that's necessary. So having a bit of bulk to stick around can be pretty nice, and especially take advantage of coaching from Annihilate, just how bulky it is. This was more of a Swords Dance build because that was what the Zacian spread was for, but I think it could still work in disadvantage because as long as it outspeeds the threats and is able to get the KOs and maybe tank an attack or two, that's really what Zacian is here for. And the Terra Fairy is to boost up that Play Rough because there are a lot of calcs that can go insane with a +1 or +2 Zacian, especially next to Pow. Next Pokemon we have is the Citrus Berry Ferrograph with the Armor Tail for the ability to prevent priority from affecting us with the Terra Water defensive typing with Foul Play, Psychic, Helping Hand, Trick Room. It's pretty much your stand for Rigraff, except we don't have an electric seed on this team because obviously we don't have Miraidon. So going with the next best item, Citrus Berry for the bulk. And even though can't be really utilized against Calyx Ice Rider and Calyx Shadow Rider, which is kind of what this Rigraff is kind of built to help against, I do think that there really isn't too much I would want. Leftovers is just too slow, and really for Rigraff it's only supposed to be there for a couple turns. So that Citrus Berry in some cases can help out with the recovery if we do force them out, which is pretty good. And overall, it's a really bulky for Rigraff. I need it for the Calyxes. So the idea here is be able to have pretty much taking the Ice Rider Glacial Lances extremely well as much as possible, because since we don't have the Electric Seed boost, kind of got to make up for it. And at least Shadow Rider can't really do too much unless they have like a random Terra Blast or Pollen Puff. So for the most part, Rev is able to wall, get Trick Room up, Foul Play, Threaten. It's just supposed to help out against opposing Trick Room, especially that Ice Rider Trick Room, as well as the Shadow Riders, and have an actual switch to Astral Barrage while being neutral to Body Press, which is something that Rayquaza doesn't exactly appreciate. Final Pokemon on this team is the Rocky Helmet Volcarona with Flame Body for the ability, Terra Water as the type with Heat Wave, Will-O-Wisp, Rage Powder, and Protect. This is just a general Volcarona that has been picked up recently just because of how well it does into Zamazenta especially, and Calyx Ice Rider, which is two threats that I do feel that I do need extra answers for on this team. And thought, okay, having a switch to Glacial Lance that isn't a Zacian, that's risking higher horsepower, is nice. Being able to have that Rocky Helmet, it's not necessary. I thought about like safety goggles, but then I thought about it and it's like Amoonguss usage isn't that great right now, and also I do have multiple ways of hitting Amoonguss pretty hard, so I don't think I need the safety goggles if it's not even that common of a Pokemon. So I just decided to go, why not Rocky Helmet, break some sashes on like opposing Xianpao, which could be annoying for Rayquaza, and more, and gain the chip damage to break like Focus Sash on Urshifu. Flame Body of course is really good, gets a potential burn of course. And yeah, I don't want to rely on just Flame Body though, especially against Calyx Ice Rider, which usually spams Glacial Lance, which isn't a contact move. So go for Willis so I can burn the Zamazenta as well as the Calyx Ice Rider. Heat Wave for the damage. I could have gone Flamethrower, but since I don't have a spread move on this team, I thought, you know, I probably should have one at least so I can kind of do some damage. And Volcarona's not like, oh, getting a knockout or anything. So I want Volcarona to get some chip damage across my opponent's Pokemon. So Heat Wave just made sense here. Rage Powder to protect my partners. Pairs well with Rayquaza because I can Rage Powder, redirect the attacks from Rayquaza, and get a Swords Dance up, and protects to stall out Trick Room turns and keep itself around. EV spread wise, it is able to speed creep like Pokemon that are able to outspeed the Raging Bolt, as modest max speed Raging Bolt isn't able to outspeed this Volcarona, and otherwise it's just a lot of defense. A bit of special defense to take the Astral Barrage is better. Not really too much to say. It's just a Volcarona that is able to tank the hits pretty well for the most part, and just spread burns, support the Rayquaza. That's all it really needs to do. So how to use the team? A lot of this team is either setting up with your restricteds or just doing as much damage as you possibly can on the board. You have the Coaching Annihilate with Defiant, which is really scary because they might be fearing a final Gambit, and if they're playing passively, that allows you to get some coaching stacks onto Rayquaza or Zacian, which can be very, very hard to get rid of otherwise. You do also have the offensive capabilities, of course, of Rayquaza, Xianpao, and Zacian, which are just able to do a ton of damage across the board, especially with the Sword of Ruin, able to dish out a ton of damage. And then you have the support Pokemon for Rigraff against the Shadow Rider does help out. It can help out in some specific Ice Rider matchups as well to reverse the Trick Room. And the Volcarona is there to help out with the Rage Powder support, especially into Zamazenta and the Calyx Ice Rider being able to get that Will-O-Wisp buff that can allow for setups with my Zacian and Rayquaza, keeping them healthy and protected. If you'd like to check out the details of the team, they'll be linked in the description down below. And let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of both Zacian and Rayquaza? Because I think they have a lot of building potential. Of course, they aren't exactly the most rewarding restricted because they have less leeway than other restricted Pokemon like Miraidon, which is just able to do too much insane damage right away, or Shadow Rider or Ice Rider that's just able to spam Astral Barrage and Glacial Lance. So they do require a bit more utility. But I think both Pokemon have really good potential in the format right now. But let me know what you think about it in the comments down below, and let's get started and play some games. Groudon, Calyx, Shadow Rider, Chi-Yu with Serena, Xianpao, and Whimsicott. All right, a very fast offensive Sun team. I have Rayquaza though, which is fantastic. Like, this Mon is fantastic against their team if I play this right. Okay. I do need to figure out a decent position though, because Annihilape's not that great in this matchup. Am I leading Zacian? Zacian's weird. It can put in work, but at the same time, it's very awkward. Am I just leading both restricteds? It might be a both restricteds angle. Do I like Volcarona? Not really. It doesn't do much. I think I'm just gonna go with Zacian Rayquaza, and then in the back go with Pal Farig. Yeah, I don't mind this, because the thing is, what Zacian plus the Rayquaza lead does is A, prevents Heat Wave from doing crazy amounts of damage to the Zacian if they lead it. Like, if they lead Groudon to get the Sun up with Chi-Yu, for instance, I don't have to worry about like Heat Wave doing that much because of the airlock. And if they lead like Calyrex plus something, that's okay. I also have the threat of Extreme Speed Mind Game that I can play with the Serena. If I can force the Chi-Yu out, I like the idea of getting Trick Room up, because then for Rigoroth with Trick Room is actually pretty difficult for them to stop. But let's see. Gonna be the Groudon Chi-Yu. Okay, Rayquaza is fantastic here. Rayquaza is fantastic here. Oh, it's not Scarf Chi-Yu. Yeah, it's not Scarf Chi-Yu. Interesting. If it's not Scarf Chi-Yu, I still think I go for Protect Dragon's Descent here into the Chi-Yu, because I don't know if they can really punish Rayquaza. Like, Dark Pulse is going to be annoying, but I have a good amount of depth with my Rayquaza. And then if it is Sash, then I can Behemoth Blade the next turn. Yeah, this is still pretty good, I'd say. Yeah. They're going to retreat the Groudon into Serena, I imagine. Yep. They went for the Serena play, which makes sense because the Serena... Because my Rayquaza was revealed to be slower because of the airlock. So they probably are Sash by the way they're playing. They go for the Heat Wave. Excellent. Rayquaza just eats that up. Is it Life Orb? That did a lot to Rayquaza. But then again, I know Rayquaza's not the bulkiest mon out there, but still. Oh, I just KO'd a Chi-Yu. Is it? No, we saw... Did we not see the sword go before? Maybe it's Specs. Because I thought we saw the sword go before the Beats of Ruin activate. That's not how the abilities go, so... I mean, we'll take it. We get rid of Chi-Yu. That's amazing. So Shadow Rider coming in most likely? Yep. I think this play is just a Behemoth Blade into the Calyrex. Because I don't KO the Serena here with any of my attacks. I'm going to go for Behemoth Blade and swap out into Farig. This is probably like Astral Barrage Helping Hand? Yeah, I would say it's probably like Astral Barrage Helping Hand. Which I don't think knocks out my Zacian unless they're like Terra Ghost, Life Orb, and all the multipliers. But if they are, that means my Farigiraf just walls them. And then I just go out into my Rayquaza afterward, Terra Normal, and Dragon's Descent to Serena while Trick Rooming. And then I think it's like a good game because then they're in a really tough spot. So let's see what they have here. Rayquaza Retreat is pretty good because we want to get rid of those defense drops. We go for Rigoroth, which is super safe. All right, we see a Terra. Is this Terra Ghost? I want to be surprised if it's Terra Ghost. Terra... Fighting. Is this Terra Blast? I mean, I don't know what the Terra Fighting does here. They did Terra Blast. This is into Rayquaza? Oh, they read Terra Normal, I think, or the Farigiraf switch, but this works out beautifully for me. It's Life Orb, okay. Unfortunately, I don't get my Citrus Berry back, but Behemoth Blade +1. Heals the Calyrex, so I'll take it. I think I win off this, actually. I think Xianpao just wins now at this point. And I get my Citrus Berry back. Yeah, I mean, they read a Terra Normal Rayquaza there. They read the Terra Normal Rayquaza, I think. Because even if you read the Farigiraf coming in, I don't think you make that play. I think they read the Terra Normal, but they got punished. Because I think I was in range of Psychic, which is why I never made that play. Alright, Groudon in. Who am I going to Terra my end game? Probably Rayquaza's not going to Terra anymore. Probably going to be the Zacian, realistically. Serena doesn't get access to Faint anymore. I'm pretty sure I could just go for a Protect and a Psychic into the Groudon? Actually, I'll foul play the Serena. It shouldn't matter too much because I'm pretty sure I win. But we'll see. Helping Hand gonna come out. I wonder if there's Assault Vest. Vespus Blades. Here's the Farigiraf, which is cool. I'm gonna go Xianpao first. They already Terra, so I don't have to worry about Terra. Does Groudon Protect is gonna be a good question. I don't think Serena can do anything that threatens a knockout here. But I am gonna Behemoth Blade and I'm gonna Ice Spinner. If this for some reason is Scarf Groudon, I'm gonna cry. I think. Actually, if it's Scarf Groudon, no, if it's Scarf Groudon, I'd lose. If it's Scarf Groudon, I have to KO the Serena here. I don't know if Serena has Protect. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go for Behemoth Blade. I'm gonna go for Behemoth Blade Ice Spinner into the Groudon. Let's see. I don't think the Groudon protects. I think the Serena protects if they have it. If they don't have Protect, then they're just gonna throw off a Helping Hand here. I just don't know. I don't think it's Scarf Groudon, but I will Terra Fairy because I don't need my Terra Normal. I think on Rayquaza. Okay, Serena did have Protect. Thank goodness. Are you Scarf Groudon? Oh wait, we saw on based on abilities, it can't be Scarf Groudon because I outsped. Well, it could be like a slow Groudon that's Scarf for some reason. That's slower than my Zacian, which should never be the case. But yeah, I get rid of the Groudon with Ice Spinner plus Behemoth Blade. Okay, that is good enough for me. That is good enough for me. Thank goodness, man. All right, Behemoth Blade, Ice Spinner. I still think Rayquaza was difficult to handle, especially if they don't have triple axle on the Serena. That was the only thing I was trying to like worry about because like if Serena's faster than my Rayquaza, because I don't run any speed on my Rayquaza, that's basically a lose con. So how do they get rid of the POW plus the Zacian there? And I guess if they have Protect, was it like Player or Power Whip? I guess they could, but that's just such a hard read. I think they bank on like an Icicle Crash miss at that point if they think I have Icicle Crash. So that was what I was expecting because I don't think you can afford to lose Serena there. Ogerpon, Heart Flame, Calyx, Ice Rider, Miraidon, Farigiraf, Iron Hands, and Grimmsnarl. Alright. I have a few different modes. I always just don't like dealing with Miraidon. Well, the fact they have Farigiraf and Grim actually makes this rough because they have both access to screens and Armor Tail. I don't know if they'll bring both. I kind of doubt they would bring both, but it's something to have to keep in mind. I kind of just want to lead the Xianpao though. Xianpao Iron Hands is actually really solid, I think, for the most part. I kind of like it. And then I think in the back I would have Rayquaza, Volcarona. Rig is not bad here. It's decent into the matchup, but I don't think I needed Volcarona. I definitely see myself having value against the Iron Hands plus the Calyx Ice Rider duo. And Redirection seems nice because I think I would try this out for Rayquaza either mid-game or end-game cleanup with E-Speed because I'm probably going to try a Swords Dance throughout. Like, if they don't bring for Rig, I'm definitely going to probably get the Swords Dance up. I think Xianpao plus Zacian is a pretty good lead for the most part because I have Ice Spinner to threaten the electric terrain gone, assuming it's not max speed Miraidon, which I have no idea if it will be. We'll find out based on... Well, we also can see if it's Scarf, but I don't think it's Scarf on this team. I think you're not having Scarf with Grimmsnarl. Farigiraf, Miraidon, perfect, okay. Does Ice Spinner Play Rough always get a knockout here? I think it does. It's not Scarf Miraidon. Good to confirm. I don't see a problem with going for Ice Spinner plus Play Rough. If they go Cali Ice, they don't even have like a great position, I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's a downside for me doubling up the Miraidon, because they don't have a switch other than Cali Ice to take the Play Rough. If they go Ogerpon, they take a ton of damage, which is okay by me. Yeah, I think I double up the Miraidon. Like, getting damage on an Ogerpon is nice. And that probably gives me a setup opportunity with my Rayquaza. I don't even know if they brought Ogerpon, because Ogerpon's... they probably brought Ogerpon, actually, because Zacian's really tough for them, right? I don't think I can even knock out the Farigiraf at this state of the game. So I don't even think it's worth me going for the targets into it, but if I get it Farigiraf again, E-Speed's looking really good. They stayed in? And no Terra. Goodbye Miraidon. And goodbye Electric Terrain. So that means they won't have Quark Drive on their Iron Hands. That's massive. I'll take it. Trick Room goes up, but I guess it has to be like Iron Hands Cali Ice in the back, right? Like, that's the only way I see you not switching there. I think that's the case. Yeah, Cali Ice coming in. My best play is just to switch out my Xianpao, bring out my Volcarona, which is like literally the Pokemon that's designed to help out against Cali Ice Trick Room stuff in this position. And we protect the Zacian. I debate about play roughing the Cali or the Rig slot here, because they might double out on Iron Hands, or they go for Helping Hand Glacial. Maybe Helping Hand High Horsepower too, because I could definitely see Helping Hand High Horsepower. Basically, the state of the game we want to do is get enough damage to build up for an end game where Rayquaza is able to sweep after Trick Room's gone. But yeah, we bring out the Volcarona. We see a Terra on the Cali Ice, which makes sense. And no switch, okay. Terra Water, yep. That's pretty acceptable. Helping Hand Glacial or Helping Hand High Horsepower? I think this is probably Helping Hand Glacial. Yep, okay. So that's fine. I do not mind that. Ooh, that did a lot. Okay. I'm gonna go for a Will-O-Spin to Zacian. I'm just gonna Sacred Sword to Farig. I don't really need Zacian too much anymore. Gain the damage in a Farig to put in crunch range guaranteed is really nice. You go for Helping Hand. Is this high horsepower? If it's high horsepower, then it's okay. If it's Glacial, that's fine too. It went for high horsepower and miss. Ooh, my Volcarona. It would have came down to some flame bodies, but that's unfortunate for my opponent because that would have been a knockout. If they get the flame body proc, it's really good for me. If they don't, it gets awkward, but it's still playable for me. But yeah, that's pretty bad for them. Take a sword into the Farig. Yeah, they're in an awful position now. Because now I just click Heat. I don't protect because they could double Trick Room. I just go for Sacred Sword Heat Wave. Yeah, I just go for Sacred Sword Heat Wave because I never let them go for double Trick Room to reverse it. If they go for Helping Hand High Horsepower again, that's fine. Or a Helping Hand Glacial. Oh my goodness. Pour one out for my opponent, man. Dude, this turn is brutal. I mean, it would have been more brutal if I guess crit the Farigiraf too, on top of getting a crit on the Cali Ice, but like, that's brutal, man. That is so brutal. Holy cow. It's Iron Hands. I feel bad for my opponent, like I actually do. But this is the game we play. Are we gonna see a forfeit, or are they gonna still play it out? I saved my Terra for Rayquaza, and I go for the K, and I go for a Wisp Play Rough into Iron Hands because if I hit, well, I mean I can miss moves. Like this game is technically not over because of the fact that I can miss moves while charge into Volcarona. And they go for high horsepower again. You know, at that point, I would just not click high horsepower for the rest of the game. I'd click Glacial for the rest of the game. But yeah, now I get a high horsepower and a Wisp off into the Iron Hands. And yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Assuming I hit one, I'm in a really good spot because both Pokemon burned or I get the KO in the hands. I'm just in a great spot. So yeah, hands goes down to the +1 play rough. And Wisp is going to fail in the Cali Ice, but I don't think the Cali Ice has enough potential to win the game just because if I get more damage into Cali, it's just in range of Sucker Punch Extreme Speed combo. I can protect the stall out the burn damage on the Cali Ice. They just really can't do anything anymore. Because yeah, Sucker Punch Extreme Speed will KO with Terra Normal after like a few more burn ticks. It might even KO right now, but I mean Cali Ice is just so bulky, I don't think so. They're playing it out. Which I'm surprised, but okay. Because I'm pretty sure the Cali Ice just has no way to win. Are you Swords Dance? I mean, they're gonna high horsepower the Zacian. What if I swapped out into Rayquaza? I don't think I'm that mean. I think I'm, you know, I am technically. Well, am I? I mean, I'm just playing this game right now. The game decided that they were going to miss 2 high horsepowers in a row. I'm just getting the damage across the board. Again, Extreme Speed Sucker Punch is just going to clean up. Good damage to Cali Ice. Yeah, like, I think we can all tell it's over. We can all tell it's over. I guess I just don't reveal information at this point. By clicking Heat Wave, High Horsepower, or Sacred Sword, as they're going to go for Glacial. Does nothing. And yeah, like, it's unfortunate with the high horsepower miss on the Volcarona because it really just came down to flame body stuff. If I don't get the flame body, it's hard, but I could still win with Rayquaza. But yeah, it's just super bad for them. Like, what can I say? What can I say? It was really bad for them. Calyx, Shadow Rider, Zamazenta, Xianpao, Amoonguss, Rillaboom, and Raging Bolt. Okay. It's a strange one. It's weird because I don't know if they actually bring Amoonguss. Because Amoonguss is a bit weird here. Volcarona is pretty good. They do struggle against Volcarona. Like, Volcarona is really good into a lot of their team, actually. Yeah, Volcarona is really good into their team. It's just a Calyx. If I play around the Calyx, then it's the question mark. Do I want to lead Volcarona? I think so. I think Volcarona plus Zacian is a pretty good lead for the most part. And then I want to say it's Rayquaza Pow. I'm a bit weak to the Calyx if I don't play this right now. But I think it's probably worth the risk. I'm going to do it. I think they have to bring Xianpao, Raging Bolt, Shadow Rider, and then I guess Zamazenta. I don't even know if they can bring the grass types. Just because, like, how do you beat the Volk? How do you beat the Volk? That's a good question. Like, I'm trying to ask myself with their team. It looks really tough. So let's see. Calyx, Zamazenta, sure. Versus Volcarona and Zacian. I'm just gonna go for Heat Wave Behemoth Blade, I'm pretty sure. Because if I get rid of the Shadow Rider, I'm in a great spot. If Shadow Rider protects, though, it's kind of a weird spot. Would I think they Nasty Plot this position? They could. They could, like, protect Body Press. But I don't know if they want to risk, like, Tailwind Volk. It's a really weird spot because it's going to come down to, I think, commitments. think I do want to double the Calyx with Behemoth Blade Heat Wave. Let's see. Okay, they went for Astral Barrage. If I get both attacks off, I think I'm in a good spot to win. Wow, that did nothing. Is that Sash? I think so. They get a Behemoth Blade off into the Calyx. Okay, I just have to hit a Heat Wave. Body press into Bulk. Oh, they were hoping that the double up would KO the Bulk. Did not. Oh, that's so good. We land a Heat Wave. KO to Zama. That's a great position. So we are able to get rid of the Shadow Rider. The Volcarona is weakened a lot, but at this point, we're in really good shape. Raging Bolt coming in, sure. You have to see a Terra, right? Pretty sure we have to. I don't see why you don't double protect the Scout. Unless this is Calm Mind Raging Bolt, there's not really much they could do. I guess like if they have like Rillaboom and they switch in for Fake Out, or they switch in for like a Moongus, they can. But we'll see. They have to Terra, yep. Raging Bolt, I imagine. Electric? That makes sense, okay. Because that's a powerful Thunderclap. I'm pretty sure I'm in a really good spot for my end game though. But yeah, we'll protect the Zacian because Zacian's always safe to protect here. Do they protect the Zamazenta? They don't protect the Zamazenta as we go for the protect. Are they going to go for Thunderclap? Or do they have Electro Web? Because I want to know if this is Assault Vest, Raging Bolt. It's just Thunderbolt, okay. Into Zacian. Okay. If it's not E-Web, I feel pretty good about clicking Rage Powder and Sacred Sword. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. So we'll see how the rest plays out because endgame wise, like I'm still not out of the woods yet. But this is super ideal position, I think. Like I think position wise, this is a pretty good spot to be in. If they protect, it gets awkward, but I think it's still very manageable. Good protect play. I don't know. I'm thinking about how I'm ending this game. Just don't be E-Web and I'm fine. Go for Thunderbolt with Terra Electric. I want to know what that item is really badly. Like, are you Life Orb? Volcarona around. Do I go down to Terra Electric Thunderclap? That's the question. I want to go Rayquaza and just Swords Dance up. I just don't know if this is the right play. It depends on if I think Thunderclap KOs Zacian. If Thunderclap, I don't think it does. I like don't think it does. I'm gonna Swords Dance and I'm gonna with Terra Normal to avoid a Draco Meteor. I'm gonna Sacred Sword to Zama. They retreat to Zama, which is smart on them. Is this POW? Oh, it's a Moongus. Oh boy, this endgame might be a bit strange. This endgame might be strange. Is it Rocky Helmet of Moon? Probably, right? So they brought a Moongus. Rocky Helmet puts me in range. I do get the Swords Dance off. They go for Thunderbolt. Yep, that's okay. Oh. Interesting. Interesting. I think I'm okay. Yeah, I think I'm okay. Actually, am I? This is so weird. I think Terra Normal Life Orb +2 Extreme Speed KO's Raging Bolt. I'd be shocked if the Raging Bolt lives. I think I Behemoth Blade the Moongus. I'm like pretty confident Terra Normal Extreme Speed KO's the Bolt with Life Orb and max attack. Yeah. Goodbye, Raging Bolt. I get the Behemoth Blade off. I don't know if they Spore or anything else, but yeah, I felt like Life Orb should KO that. Behemoth Blade +1. I don't think this KOs a Moon, but it should do a lot. Yep. That chip doesn't matter really. A Sludge Bomb. Okay, I think... I think I win. No, I don't win, actually. I don't win. I don't win guaranteed. So they have Sludge Bomb. They take the knockout on the Ray. That's okay. I get the POW in. Zamazenta in. I don't have Ice Shard. That's the problem. Zama is... Oh, wait. It doesn't have the defense boost though. So the defense boost means that it's taking my POW attack worse. I mean, I think I always Ice Spinner the Amoonguss and I go for a Sacred Sword and a Zama. Actually, no, I think I'm fine. Yeah. Because they're going to, what, go for Protect and attempt to Spore, hoping I double into Zama? No, they went for a double Protect. So the reason I went for Sacred Sword into the Zama and I went for the Ice Spinner is because if the Zama doesn't Protect and the Amoonguss doesn't Rage Powder, the Zama goes down. If they Rage Powder, the Sacred Sword goes off. They go for a Body Press into a slot, but the thing is, POW still has its Sash available. So I think they're gonna... Do they go for the double Protect? I don't think they do. I think I just protect my Zacian and go for Ice Spinner here. Let's see if they go for the... Let's see if they go for the double with a Moon. I think they would still potentially lose without it. Yeah, they Rage Power this time. Because I Sacred Sworded the Zama. So they're like, okay, they're not targeting a Moon. I have to Rage Powder here. But I am able to get the Ice Spinner KO into Amoonguss. I protect the Zacian. And now they can't get the KO into Zamazenta. Or they can't get the knockout into my Zacian. So that means I just always get a Sacred Sword KO the following turn. And they Body Pressed into the Zacian as well. Perfect. I mean, it just came down to like, I think a Fury. It's like, I felt like my mid ground was pretty safe because I'm pretty sure because they don't have the defense boost, I was pretty sure that I was going to be able to get the two, because I would have had Sash with POW, because Zacian would have taken the Rocky Helmet. Zacian wasn't going down to the Rocky Helmet, and then I get like Ice Spinner, or I get Crunch, and into Sucker. And I think that would KO Zamazenta. Or I would get Crunch. And I think that would just be enough to beat the Zamazenta, especially if I get a defense drop, like, for sure. But I'm pretty sure even without it, like, I think I win. So, yeah. That matchup was definitely rough for them. And they definitely played well to get into it. I did not think it was actually going to be a Amoonguss back, but it ended up working out well for them. And luckily, Rayquaza was in a good spot to get to the Saurus Dance out, so I could go for the Extreme Speed KO. And preserving the Zamazenta worked out, but Life Orb Extreme Speed is too strong, man. With +2 and Life Orb of a 150 attack with max attack, like, yeah, even if Raging Bolt's crazy, I don't think it's that crazy. Miraidon, Grimmsnarl, Lunala, Iron Hands, Ogerpon, Heartflame, Urshifu. Okay, looks like your classic Miraidon Lunala screens. All right, how do I want to approach this? I do not. I mean, Zacian's pretty good with Annihilate. They don't have the best answers to it. I was pretty good because, I mean, other than the fighting types, which I don't know if they'll lead here. I do have Crunch POW. I think Crunch POW should probably lead here. I'm going to lead POW plus Zacian? Yeah, because Crunch Behemoth Blade is such a big pin against their team. I would love Annihilate coaching, but I don't think it makes sense here. I think in the back, I would probably want... Do I want Farig? I want Farig just for the no Thunder Wave against my team. No Thunder Wave would be so nice. But you know what? I'm bringing Volcarona, which I think is good against the hands, and I'm bringing Rayquaza. Let's see if this works out. Because I could definitely get a Swords Dance E-Speed cleanup, I think, in this game. If I play this correctly. If I'm not leading Annihilate, I don't think it's ever worth bringing it here. Xianpao Zacian does pretty well against their team because I have Ice Spinner, I have Crunch for the Lunala. There's like so much I can just do against their team that I think it's worth it 100%. If they lead Grimstall, though, we get to find out some fun things, I suppose. Like, do they Thunder Wave turn 1? Grimstall Urshifu. Ooh, okay. Do they have Fake Out on the Grim? I want to retreat the POW. I guess I'm going hard in a Rayquaza. And I'm going to go for Behemoth Blade into the Grim. I don't have Terra Water here, unfortunately. I just really can't afford to get Thunder Wave. I need to get rid of the Ursh, though. Maybe I play off the Ursh, because it puts in extreme speed range afterward, which I think is pretty valuable. I'm going to go Rayquaza. Let's see if they have Fake Out or Thunder Wave. Like, Thunder Wave into the Zacian is actually pretty reasonable, I think, from their options. We're going to see a Terra come out. This is probably the Ursh into water. Yep. Oh, it's Steel. Huh. Okay. I don't mind it being Steel. They do Thunder Wave to Zacian. Okay. So I don't mind. I mean, I do mind, but not the worst. They do Surging Strikes to Zacian, which I think that is Choice Band based on the damage. It does look like Choice Band based on the damage. Okay. Either that is like a crazy Mystic Water Rolls. I get paralyzed, which is not great actually, but sure. Okay. We're in a pretty tough spot. We're in a pretty tough spot. I gotta I hope that this is Spirit Break. I mean, I think the only play that I have here is just Swords Dance with Rayquaza and hope they don't foul play. Hope that they just reflect immediately. I guess I'm gonna Behemoth Blade the Grim. Okay, they do reflect immediately, which is good. Okay. So I can win this endgame. I can win this endgame. I need to not get super unlucky with my Rayquaza, and I think I'll be set. So I'm going for Swords Dance with Rayquaza. We got to get multiple. We got to get multiple Swords Dances. We get in Volcarona here. And we're going to go for Terra Water, Rage Powder. And hope that Flame Body activates like decently quick. It doesn't have to activate immediately, but it has to activate decently quick. So let's Rage Powder and let's Swords Dance. They stay in, which is beautiful because this gives me more turns for Swords Dance. If they Thunder Wave immediately, I just gotta pray that Volcarona doesn't get paralyzed quickly. So let's see. We Rage Powder here. As a Surging. A Flame Body Quick would be nice. They are taking a lot of recoil though. Okay. Nice. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, Volcarona is eating this up, which is great. It shouldn't be Safety Goggles Grim. Swords Dance up from Rayquaza. Now we go for a foul play. Beautiful. Flame Body? No Flame Body. Okay, that's fine. Now I just go for another Swords Dance. And Rage Powder. And maybe Rayquaza can reverse sweep. I do think it's very possible that Rayquaza reverse sweeps this game. I think it's very possible. Like, that was not a great lead for us, but I think this position is actually really good. Especially because even if they have Reflect, I have Sword of Ruin Extreme Speed. I don't have Terra Normal, unfortunately, but I think we'll have enough firepower to KO Miraidon, hopefully. They go for Thunder Wave. Cool. All right, the Urshifu should go down here. Okay. Massive. I think it depends on if Volcarona gets fully paralyzed or not. Okay. All right, +6 Rayquaza on deck. We have Life Orb too. Miraidon coming in? Like, it should always be Miraidon here. Okay, I am gonna make an interesting play. I'm gonna sack my Volcarona here because they're gonna go for Dazzling Gleam. Yep, okay. So I was trying to figure out, do I have a position where I can stop this Miraidon from sweeping my team? And I think I do. I have Max Speed POW and I have Ice Spinner. This might come down to speed tie between the Xianpao and the Miraidon. Because if I get the Ice Spinner off, I'm pretty sure then that means I can Extreme Speed to Grimmsnarl, take the knockout, live the Miraidon attack, and then I think I'll be fine. But it really just depends here. Because I am banking a risk here, but I think it's absolutely worth it. I want to reflect, but it doesn't matter. I go for Extreme Speed and a Grim. I go for the Ice Spinner. And then hope I live the Dazzling Gleam. Bye, Grim. All right, moment of truth. Are we faster? Nice. Okay, we got rid of the electric terrain. That's huge for the ability gone. Good damage to Miraidon. Perfect. Electric terrain disappears. Gleam, I don't think KOs Rayquaza. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Who's the last? The last is massive here. The last is absolutely massive. Lunala, okay. Do I still lose? I don't know who's faster between Lunala and Rayquaza, because I have no speed investment. A might have speed. Oh, I might lose because of that. Well, they don't... Wait, they don't have the electric seed, though. That's massive. Okay, there's no super big downside to clicking double protect here. Because if they have Meteor Beam on the Lunala, we get to find out. Like, if this is Dazzling Gleam, I have to Dragon Descent immediately. And Ice Spinner the Miraidon. Let me see. Dazzling Gleam? I don't think you ever trick him in this spot. I think you just fire off a Moongeist Beam realistically. Moongeist Beam. Target POW, that makes sense. I think this is just gonna come down to how fast the Lunala is. I'm willing to... Do I risk the speed tie? I think so. Actually, no. The best play is technically to extreme speed the Miraidon to knock him. Because if they do crunch... Well, it depends. Do I want to win a speed tie against the Miraidon? If it is a speed tie? Ice Spinner. That looks like frail Miraidon based on the Ice Spinner damage. So I think it is like a speed tie. I think I gotta go for extreme speed and crunch. Because I don't think I want to play another mind game between the... I don't think I want to play another mind game with the Miraidon. So let's see. Gonna crunch off into the Lunala. Good damage. Moongeist Beam. And it come down to Rayquaza. Otherwise, I was just dumb and I should have just went for Ice Spin or Dragon Descent. Would Dragon Descent KO with Reflect and the Shadow Shield? I have no clue. Because it's +6 Life Orb Dragon Descent, but it's Reflect and Shadow Shield. I feel like I would not have KO'd, so it just comes down to how fast it is. They're faster. Sideshock gonna come out of Rayquaza, pick up the knockout. Good game. Was there... I guess I had to go for the Ice Spinner plus Dragon Scent because at least I could go for crit with Dragon Scent. Well, I mean, I could crit with Crunch, so it's the same thing. But, and I guess that's the downside to running a decently bulky Rayquaza and no speed. Because like Lunala was the only mon that was a bit awkward in that one. I'm curious though. The thing about it too, well, they also have single target reflect. So I don't think I was ever getting the KO there. That's a problem. I think I needed a crit with Crunch, or I needed a crit with Dragon Scent, or I just had to be faster, which is what I relied upon. But that would have also me going for the Ice Spinner into the Miraidon and winning a speed tie again. A potential speed tie. We don't know for sure, but it definitely could have been. I can't really say for certain though against that. I really can't say for certain because I have no idea what the spreads are. Miraidon, Ho-Oh, Grimmsnarl, Iron Hands, Farigiraf, and Ursaluna. Okay. Farigiraf gonna be a little bit tough. Miraidon, of course, always a tricky matchup, especially because they have a Ho-Oh, so Ho-Oh actually makes this quite difficult. I would really love to deny Trick Room if possible. Don't know if I can, but we'll see. We'll see about it. I think the idea... Farigiraf's just tough to break through. Farigiraf is really tough to break through. I wish I had my final Gambit at Annihilate, but I don't here. I think my play is just to lead Annihilate plus the Zamazenta. Because Ice Spinner Pow is not great in this matchup. I don't think it is, at least. I think it's just Annihilate, or not Zamazenta, Zacian. Because I can threaten a Play Rough into the Miraidon and be in a really good offensive spot. And then I think in the back, I'm bringing Rayquaza and Farigiraf. Let's try it. I don't really think I need Volcarona in this matchup. It's not really good against a Ho-Oh either. I want to reverse Trick Room with Farigiraf if possible, which would be super ideal. And with a coaching boost on my Zacian, I should be put in a great spot, especially +2 Play Rough probably KOs the Miraidon. We're gonna see Farigiraf plus the Miraidon, which is fair. Okay, I do lead the Annihilate plus the Zacian. Man, if I had Final Gambit, I could just go for like Terra Fairy, Play Rough, and Final Gambit, and it'd be in a great spot. They know I'm faster because my ability went off faster. It should be Miraidon swapping here. Do I really care about that? I don't think I do. I think this is just always me going for a coaching here into the Zacian and then just going for Play Rough into the Miraidon slot. And I don't see a reason not to go for it. If they swap, like, what do they have as switch? Ho-Oh? Like, if they go Ho-Oh, that's fine, right? Because I can always, as long as I'm getting the coachings up with Zacian, like, they can't really do much damage. But I don't think that's terrible. And I don't think they're going to Terra Fairy here. I think +2 gets the KO on Miraidon if they Terra, but I don't think they should Terra. I think they should swap out here into Ho-Oh. Yeah, they do. Okay, nice. If this is Ho-Oh, that's incredible. Yep, Ho-Oh. I wish I had Final Gambit, but unfortunately don't. So we get a coaching off with our Zacian. So we have +2 attack, +1 defense. Play Rough going to come out in a Ho-Oh. That actually does some pretty good damage. Trick Room comes out. All right. To be expected. They know I'm Scarf Annihilate. I don't know if they're going to stay in, but... They're going to Brave Bird my Annihilate. I'm kind of okay with losing Annihilate at this point. Getting a free switch to Farig would be better for me. I think I just go for a coaching again and I protect my Zacian and hope they don't double out here. They don't double here. Okay, beautiful. They go for Psychic. I should be able to tank that just fine. Did they Brave Bird? Yeah. Oh, they did double a Sacred Fire. Okay, that's cool. I think the game's just going to come down to, do I get burned from the Ho-Oh? Because a lot of this is just trying to sweep with Rayquaza plus Farigiraf. But in order to do that, I do need to get rid of Farigiraf, which is kind of the difficult part. We bring out the Farigiraf. I'm just going to try to reverse Trick Room, and I'm going to go for a Behemoth Blade into the... Can I Terra here? No, I want to save Terra for Rayquaza if I need it. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go for Behemoth Blade into the Farigiraf. They go for Foul Play, which shouldn't do much. Yeah, that doesn't do much. Great. Good Fire. That did more than I thought, actually, but okay. That's a bad burn. All right, that's a bad burn. Get the Behemoth Blade off into the that did nothing because I got burned. Unlucky. That's kind of getting punished though for... I mean, can I do anything? I mean, maybe I could win. Yeah, that's just a bit unlucky. Maybe, actually, why did I Behemoth Blade? Sacred Sword was better because I ignored the defense boost. I could win depending on the situation, I think. They start Sacred Firing my Farig. Okay, I do have max defense though. They go for Foul Play, which is cool. I'm able to get a Foul Play into them. Okay, maybe? I get a crit. I don't think that matters too much. Zacian goes down. Trying to think if I can win with Rayquaza. I feel like I would have needed damage on... I think it's probably a speed tie on our Farigs, right? I think I just gotta hope that my Farig is faster. Gets the KO on their Farig. I think I go for Psychic and I go for Swords Dance and just pray that I don't get Sacred Fire burned or that I'm able to move faster than the Farigiraf. I think that's like the only hope. Yeah, also I should have Sacred Sworded because I completely forget about ignoring the defense boost from the Electric Seed. Although I don't think it really changed much here. Yeah, I do think that the switch was obvious though. I think I should have just went for something. Wait. Oh, is this Miraidon coming in? No, it's Ursaluna. Wait a minute. They're giving me opportunity. And I mean amazing opportunity. Okay. You go for Brave Bird, but I'll tank that. Yep. Have the Citrus Berry. Okay. Wait, hold on. Hold on. This might be alright. This might be playable. Because I am able to get a Psychic off. The damage isn't great, but... I wonder if I can take the KO here with Trick Room and go for Dragonus or go for Terra. I want to go for Terra Normal Extreme Speed. I think I'm going to Terra Normal Extreme Speed and Trick Room. The reason I'm going to make this play is maybe now I go for the Trick Room Speed Tie because if I get rid of the... If I get rid of this Ursaluna, I might have a chance. And I didn't think they were ever going to switch Farigiraf here because switching Farigiraf made no sense here. Nice, I get the Terra Normal Extreme Speed into the Ursaluna. Massive. So Ursaluna goes down. That was their Trick Room Sweeper. That was preventing me from getting Trick Room up for the game. Now I'm able to get my own Trick Room up. No way! They went for Tailwind? No way. No way. Oh, it's gonna come down to can I KO the Miraidon, I think. I kind of have to get a read though on the Miraidon still, right? I'm pretty sure I do. Wait, Farig came in. Wait, I win. I win. Because they got Tailwind up. They don't have Electric Seed boost anymore. I get a Foul Play plus a Dragon Sent off. I thought they were always going to like go in Miraidon and play the mind game with the Farigiraf. I think I always win off that. I'm pretty sure I do. There's something I'm forgetting? I just don't think there is. I really thought I was screwed, man. I thought I was screwed. never give up, I suppose. I was like, okay, if I get rid of Ursaluna and get Trick Room up, is there a world I can win? And I'm like, yeah, because if I win the speed tie with Furgraph, if it's a speed tie, because if they're like 4 speed, I guarantee I'll speed them under Trick Room. Then I could foul play afterward, KO it, and then it depends on like how I play against a Ho-Oh. I really thought it was gonna be Miraidon because I don't think Dragon Scent was KOing the Miraidon. I might have had to go for Helping Hand Dragon Scent with Life Orb and pray that KO'd Miraidon, which is why I thought they were gonna go for like the Furgraph Mind Game there, and go for like Brave Bird afterward. But I cannot believe I won that, man. Calyx, Ice Rider, Groudon, Fluttermane, Raging Bolt, Amoonguss, and Incineroar. Cali-Ice Groudon's really cool. All right, I don't want to reach this. I mean, Rayquaza's good against Groudon, not so much the Cali-Ice, so I think I will probably tear rid of Rayquaza in this matchup. I mean, theoretically, Zacian plus Rayquaza are both really good into this combo. So I think I'm probably... Did I lead both here? I think I would. There's the Incineroar, though. They have Trick Room, that's the problem. I think I want to bring Volcarona in this matchup. It's pretty good. I don't think I need POW. I don't need POW. I think it's Annihilate Rayquaza lead, which is pretty strong against their team. Because Booster doesn't activate for the Fluttermane, right? I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Then I get Zacian Volcarona back. I don't hate this combo. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this. The reason is Volcarona is really good against the Cali-Ice, which is something I really need. Unfortunately, my Amoonguss matchup's not that great. But I do have Rayquaza that does a lot of damage, which is at least nice. I don't know if they bring Amoonguss. I don't know if they even bring... They should bring Incineroar. And if they lead Incineroar, they're getting punished by my Annihilate. Fluttermane Groudon. Yeah, this is kind of what I thought. Okay, perfect. Okay, I lead the Annihilate plus the Rayquaza. It's a bit of a weird spot though, because I was hoping I'd be able to get a... This is Gleam Blades, right? This is probably Dazzling Gleam and Blades. I think I want to U-turn the... Actually, do I want to... No, I think Zacian Annihilate better here, actually. No, Zacian Annihilate is definitely better. I'm going to Shadow Claw Protect. Yeah. Because they're not going to protect the Fluttermane. The Fluttermane doesn't have Photosynthesis because Sun is technically not up. I guess Shadow Claw off into Fluttermane. It is Sash Flutter, which is not too surprising. Perfect. Okay. A Moonblast the Annihilate. Okay, I'm fine with that. Does that mean I could have Swords Dance? What did they do with the Groudon? Rock Slide. Interesting. Am I scared of Rock Slide? Not really. That meant good fan did not U-turn into Volcarona. I'm going out into my Zacian. I think we're going to try to get Swords Dance up with our Rayquaza. That is the goal here. So we're going to go for Play Rough into the Flutter because this could be Instant coming in. I'm going to Swords Dance. Zacian should live 1 Blades, assuming it's not Rocky Helmet Instant. If it's Rocky Helmet Instant, I guess that's okay. I could probably play around it, yet it's still not as good. But yeah, this should be Instant. Yep. That's fine. Forcing the Flutter Gun, so Rayquaza's safe is definitely to play. I can get Swords Dances up. Like, Rock Slide shouldn't do too much damage to Rayquaza. Like, I doubt it. Play Rough gonna come out. That's actually good damage to Instant too. Swords Dance. Rock Slide. Yeah, that doesn't do too much to Rayquaza. Can't really switch to Volcarona, which is the troubling part, but are they doubling out? I would double out if I was them. I would double out the Instant into Fluttermane. I want to risk that. Because double protect is a bit obvious, but I have no clue. I feel like I would rather play aggressive here. I think I should. Yeah, I had a feeling. Because Flutter makes so much sense. You'd switch it, you get Intimidate for later. I felt like it just made so much sense to save the Flutter. Perfect. So I do get the Behemoth Blade plus the Dragon Send off, and that should KO the Groudon, which is massive. Oh, they're faster. Please don't flinch. Please don't flinch. Okay. And we have one more hit of Life Orb, which is massive. Okay, goodbye, Groudon. Right now, our Volcarona is looking pretty good to clean up the end game. Our Volcarona is looking really good to clean up the end game. So Instant coming in again, which is interesting, but I'll take it. Maybe they think I don't have Protect at this point, but I do, so that's good. Gonna go for a double Protect here. Two turns of Sun, so that's all I need, really. Okay. Do they have Trick Room Flutter Mane? Alright. So Fake Out gonna come out into the Zacian and a Icy Wind. Perfect. Okay. So I got them both on these turns. I'm very glad that I fought. Like, instant switching for Flutter Mane just made so much sense to me because a second Intimidate, the double protect was obvious. You get a good position if so. And if I'm not Life Orb, the Groudon survives. So yeah, that's good. I don't know what the last mon would be. Do I think if it's Raging Bolt, it's going to be pretty complicated. If it's Cali Ice, which I'm hoping it's Cali Ice, I'm in a good spot, I think. I'm just going to Behemoth Blade to Flutter. The question is, what am I doing with Rayquaza? Am I going for Dragon Scent or am I switching to Volcarona? I think I Dragon Scent the Incineroar. Ah, they switched out. Okay, yeah, no, that was not the play then. It is Cali Ice. Okay, I should have went into Volk. The reason is because I wanted to hit into Incineroar because Incineroar is still really tough for me to deal with in the end. But I think I can manage. Oh, especially since they gave me this. They gave me the knockout into the Flutter, which is massive. Okay, so Flutter goes down. I get a big hit off into Cali Ice. I'm like -2 Zacian at this point, though, which is not ideal. I get a neutral Dragon Send off into the Cali Ice, which is massive. Okay. I think Zacian Volk can win. I don't know if it guarantee wins though, but I think it's in a good spot. We're gonna see the Incineroar come in. I need damage into that Incin. I think I always Sacred Sword the Incin and Will-O-Wisp the Cali Ice because they fake out one. I don't know what they do with the other. Yeah, I'm gonna Will-O-Wisp the Cali Ice. I don't. There's probably a Terra coming out from the Cali Ice, but I don't know if it's fire or if it's water. I can see it being water on this team. Okay, nice. Ooh, okay. I wasn't sure, but I don't think you run fire on a sun team, but water made sense as a defense typing here. I mean, it's the same thing. Incin gets a fake out into Volcarona, which is actually really good. Okay, so I get a Sacred Sword off into Incin. The fact that it's just very bad because it gets healing, but that's all right. Okay. Get a big Sacred Sword off. That's the damage I need. Room? Yep. I double protect here. I think Terra-wise, it's definitely Terra Water Volcarona coming out. They should be Flare Blitz Incin on this team, I'd imagine. I just don't know if it's better to Rage Powder plus Sacred Sword or if it's better to do something else like Heat Wave. Glacial Land's gonna be fired off. No high horsepower, which is surprising. Is this Flare Blitz in a Volcarona or is this Flare Blitz in a Zacian? Flare Blitz does come out into Zacian, yeah. Actually, it's probably Gallo, so there's no point, right? Oh no, we saw Citrus. Okay, wait, yeah. I can Sacred Sword and I can go for Terra, Water, Rage Powder. I think this is good, yeah. It depends on how much they're gonna do damage-wise, because I think they're gonna keep Flare Blitzing, and I don't even know if they have knockoff. So they have knockoff, like, sure, but I mean, Flare Blitz here is a lose here because they don't do enough to my Volcarona, I think, in this end game. They go for Glacial Lands. It covers any Terras. Beautiful. Flare Blitz comes out. I did a lot to Volcarona. Doesn't go down to recoil, but Sacred Sword will get the KO. It's close, man. It's close. This Cali Ice is gonna come down to what Cali Ice does. Does high horsepower KO my Volk is the question. I am bold Volcarona. I don't think it does. I'm gonna Willis the Cali Ice and protect. I need a Wisp off into the Cali Ice. Oh, they didn't high horsepower, which is incredible for me. Also, thank goodness it's not like a random Seed Bomb tech or something. Glacial Lance. Corona survives. We need to hit the Wisp. Okay, we need to dodge a high horsepower. We need to dodge the high horsepower. We need to dodge high horsepower with our Zacian. Oh, they keep Glacial Lancing. Which is interest. I mean, I'm surprised. Okay, beautiful. Not enough damage, but kind of. Oh, wait, it's not clear. We get the attack draw. Wait, that's kind of big. That's kind of big. We still need to hit the Wiz. That's the important part. I think it doesn't even really matter as long as I get the Wisp up. Oh, we crit. You know what? We take it. We take it. I will take that. I will just take that. I will just take that because if we hit the Wisp, I think the game was over. I think we had a super sealed end game position because the burn would have stacked up. It would have been really hard for them to get knockouts. But man, I didn't realize the Groudon was faster than my Rayquaza this time. I don't know why I thought my Rayquaza. Well, did we ever see the speed interaction? I can't remember. But oh my goodness, the calling the instant turns was massive. Although I did get one of the turns wrong where the Dragon Scent went off into the Cali Ice. I think if I went for a switch into Volcarona instead, I think that would have been massive because I think that would have allowed me to win. Or I guess if I Behemoth Blade as well. If I went for Behemoth Blade instead, I think that would have been an auto win as well. But I didn't go for the call instead. Actually, no, I still had to Behemoth Blade the Flutter. So it's always either Behemoth Blade the Flutter and attack with Dragon Scent if I expect instant to switch or stay in, or switch into Volcarona to cover for the Cali Ice. So I have a position to threaten Wisp and some Sacred Sword damage, and I'd be able to reset, switch out. Yeah, I think would have helped, but luckily I was still able to win without it. All right, let's go over to games. In game one, got a beautiful knockout onto the Chi-Yu, which opened up my Zacian to get big damage, which then took the knockout onto the Calyrex that went with a very aggressive play that did not work out for my opponent. In game two, pour one out for my opponent as they missed two high horsepowers in a row. 295% is crazy. Or two 5% in a row is crazy, I guess, more likely. But it did come down to flame body procking, and I still think I could have won without it, but I would have had to make a few commitment reads. But that is Pokemon sometimes. In game three, beautiful Calyrex Shadow Iron knockout, but the Raging Bolt was a bit strange depending on if I could go down to Thunderclap with the Zacian. However, Rayquaza was able to get a huge setup opportunity to knock out the Raging Bolt with a +2 Terra Normal Extreme Speed with Life Orb, which put us in a fantastic spot to win in the end game. And I do think that in most cases, as long as I don't fall for a target with both my Pokemon into one Protect, and the other does a spore body press knockout, I think I'm fine. In game 4, they got a really good lead. The Grimmsnarl plus Urshifu was really hard to switch into, so I had to take a lot of damage with Zacian, and unfortunately wasn't able to do much. I do think I gave myself the best odds to come back in the game, but probably either need to be faster than the Lunala with Rayquaza or crit, since I calced the +6 Life Orb Dragon Scent afterward, and it did not knock out the Xiaoxia Lunala with a critical hit behind the Reflect that also is now single target instead of spread, so the Reflect is actually even stronger now. So she and Pal would have had to crit, or they would have had to mess up and target my Rayquaza instead of Pal, so I think I still technically gave myself the best odds regardless, but yeah, it was just tricky. In game 5, I do not think I played the beginning well at all. I probably should have expected the Ho switch in as well, but yeah, I needed damage into Fergraph, which I did not got. But one Trick Room and Extreme Speed knockout into the Ursaluna gave me a comeback opportunity, which was shocking. In game 6, matchup can vary, but luckily the call out of Incineroar switching out into the Flutter Mane was huge instead of them going for fake out, and getting the Groudon knockout that turn was massive. The following turns of does Incineroar stay in, I got wrong, but thankfully Zacian came in clutch, especially into the Calyx Ice Rider after Volcarona missed that Will-O-Wisp, because that was actually pretty big. What do I think about the team? Overall, I loved the idea of Rayquaza, Xianpao, Zacian. Annihilate I thought would have done more, but I guess we didn't fight too many Intimidates, or I'd rather have just had Volcarona or Ferreira as backup instead. But overall, the team was fun. The team is fun. Rayquaza Zacian with big damage with Sword of Ruin is incredible. The coaching stuff can still put in work, I think, and it definitely gives up mind game and team preview, especially with Final Gambit pressure. Like, they really have to respect that combo. I think I probably would go Final Gambit and Annihilate, or at least experiment with it, but I was pretty happy with like how the team performed in general. It was really fun, and we had some pretty strong games. If you would like to check out the team, the rental code is on your screen. It's only available for 1 week, so make sure you grab while you can. Otherwise, you can check out the details of the team down below in the description. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.